Just like Buddha, who has 4 noble truths, I have 20. I was given these noble truths by the universe when I interacted with my life coach. And these have helped me have a clearer mind on who I am, what my goals are, and how to be the right kind of person that I need to be able to achieve the dreams that I want. I have a long journey ahead of me to continue to self-actualize and self-develop, but these have helped me tremendously to change a large portion of my life, even if it's just on the identity and action and thought process right now. These 20 noble truths that I've gained, I found are really powerful for me, and I wanted to make a series out of it. In today's video, we're going to go over the first 5 of the 20 noble truths. The main reason why I want to make this series is just to share these noble truths and to empower people to think differently, to maybe see what they agree with, see what they disagree with, find out what noble truths they want to live by in their life. And if you want to adopt the 20 that I have, then that is more the better. So follow me along and we'll find out what these noble truths mean, how they change people's lives, and how you can actually apply them. Let's get started. Starting with noble truth number 1, we do not manifest what we want. We manifest who we are. Our outer world is a reflection of our inner one. I believe what this noble truth is trying to say is that it's about the law of attraction. Like attracts like. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibration, who you are, attracts what you're around, who you're around, and what you do. And your identity is the biggest part of this, I would say, because how you see yourself on the inside shapes what you believe about yourself and the world around you. It shapes your thinking and it shapes your actions. Your identity then creates your beliefs. Your beliefs then create thinking, and your thinking then creates what you do. So if you want to attract, instead of changing your actions first, you change how you see yourself on the inside. You change your identity. So this truth, it basically helps to improve our life by helping us realize that we can shift our outer world, how our lives are, by shifting what's on the inside. By shifting our inner world, we shift the outer world as well. It also helps and encourages us to self-reflect and to see what on the inside is misaligned with who we want to be and our goals. See how we can align ourselves with the vibe that we want to be and need to be to get our goals and achievements. So how exactly do we do this? How do you shift the inside to shift the outside? How do you change your identity? So what I've learned from my life coaching course and my life coach himself, he taught me how to shift by essentially creating an ideal version of yourself. So first, you want to make sure you ask the right questions to clearly know who you are and what you want. And then once you know who you want to be, or once you know who you are and then want to become, create this ideal version of yourself. Ask tons of questions for yourself in your journal, if you have a journal, and ask, who is this person? What do they do on a daily basis? What do they get over? What problems are they able to easily overcome that you're dealing with right now? Who does this ideal person wake up with? Etc., etc. All these questions to sort of build this ideal life. Have fun with it. Get creative. And do the impossible. Think the impossible. If you feel like you could never travel all the world, then if that's what you want to do, then imagine your character, this ideal character, waking up in other places around the world in this massive van, whatever. Have fun with it. Another thing you can do is visualization and affirmations. These 2 things are amazing tools to help reinforce this identity. Sort of visualizing what they would do, what they would feel, and how they would feel. Like, visualize what would it feel like to play in that band with that thousands of crowd members. watching you play your drums or something? Or what would it feel like to win that marathon and get that medal, stand there, people cheering at your success, etc.? What would it feel like? What does it look like? What does it feel like to be in that moment and to have that success? And then also using affirmations to help reinforce those ideas, reinforce all that stuff within you. It basically helps, those two things help to reinforce this new identity into your being. Finally, it's not all about just visualization and identity. Action has to be taken as well. Of course, the identity comes first with visualization and affirmations reinforcing that, but the last thing is start doing. You can start out small by just changing your behaviors and positive habits. Set specific goals of what you want to achieve, and make sure to cultivate positive habits to help bridge the gap, the physical gap between your ideal self or between your past self or current self and your ideal self. We can shift the inside, but the outside world takes a little bit longer to shift. So of course, having those specific goals and positive habits so that 1% every day you get closer to your ideal self. Noble truth number 2. We are not the highest version of ourselves we can imagine. We are the lowest version of ourselves that we can accept. Raise your standards, close the gap, refuse to settle. This noble truth is telling us that we will never be our highest selves or the highest version of ourselves 100% of the time. We have a default programming that we always fall back onto. And if you want to change to your ideal self, you need to raise that standard, raise that default programming to be the default of what your ideal self would be doing. Because of course, we can have those times where we're motivated and where we're ready to take on the day, but there are some days where we're not. We do not want to wake up and get out of bed. We do not feel like working on what we want to work on. And if you have habits that say, if I'm not feeling motivated, you don't do anything, then you're going to stay back at your current self. So if you want to change, if you want to shift, you have to rewrite old programming, old habits, old mindsets, old beliefs, old behaviors, and you have to make them a higher standard. When you adopt this noble truth, you start to notice the negative behaviors, the bad behaviors that are holding you back into this current version of yourself. And it helps to encourage you and motivate you to seek these bad behaviors out and seek how to change them, how to rewrite them, how to create new behaviors, and how to be a better version of yourself. It works as a sort of motivation of, no, I will never settle. I will never settle for less. And I will always try my best to develop even my lowest programming to get a little better every day. Some actionable steps are to self-reflect and recognize the bad habits, the bad mindsets, the bad negative limiting beliefs that are holding you back about yourself. Use things like shadow work, meditation, breath work, and other things to be able to self-reflect on negative things that have happened to you in the past, negative core stories of how you see yourself that hold you back. Take some time to learn how to break these bad habits, to break these mindsets and rewrite them with new ones. And learn to adopt a growth and abundance mindset, that opportunities are everywhere. Even if I can't see them, that doesn't mean they're not there. Opportunities are everywhere to grow, to get better, to make more money, etc. A great book that I will present to be able to learn how to create amazing habits has to be Atomic Habits by James Clear. That is one of the first books that I read when it came to my self-development journey, and my God, is it powerful. Teaching you everything you need to know about what makes a habit, how it forms. I'll create like a short video talking about how to create better habits, etc. If I have created it, it'll be down in the description below. Finally, make sure to do something small every day, even if it's just 1%. Make sure you do something to always push yourself forward. Always adopt self-improvement, constant self-improvement to always be better, to always improve something every day. Noble truth number 3. Happiness is the brief moment between shifting desires. Desires cause suffering. This noble truth is trying to tell us that trying to chase desires such as material things or a specific achievement or specific event, trying to chase those things and eventually even achieving them, it's just a continuous cycle of achieving it and then disappointment, achieving disappointment. It's this constant cycle of more. Happiness is not a satisfaction of achievement or gaining something. Happiness is something that is experienced in the moment through satisfaction of being. And this noble truth helps us to remember and to remind us of that cycle that we can break from. Desires cause suffering. If we can break and detach from desire, we can find true happiness in the moment. The best actionable step that I can give you for this is meditation and journaling and self-reflection. Those 3 things. Through those 3 things, we can learn a healthy level of detachment. Through things like having a plan B, for example, that's a safety net. Having a plan B is a safety net. Being able to be grateful for what we have right now, and also realizing that happiness comes from satisfaction. Satisfaction does not come from success. It comes from a feeling of fulfillment through working through something. Even if we don't necessarily feel a goal, having the feeling of being productive and feeling like we did something. We put in energy towards something that we felt like was productive and had meaning. So instead of having an end goal and trying to be obsessed with that, it's more of the process. The journey is more important than the destination. So having meditation and breath work and journaling to help keep ourselves self-aware and also more mindful in the moment and more grateful in the moment helps us to have that healthy detachment. So meditation and self-awareness and mindfulness in the moment, all that helps us to have a healthy detachment. Noble truth number 4. Significance pushes people away, while vulnerability draws people near. What I believe this noble truth is trying to tell us is that trying to look special, trying to gain validation from others by being special or having some significance within other people's images pushes people away. Basically being an attention hog. But when you are able to be vulnerable, your authentic, vulnerable self, and you're not seeking attention, you're more of just wanting to share yourself and having a place to be vulnerable, that actually draws people near. When people see that you are opening up to them and being your authentic self with them and sharing your authentic experiences and being interested in their experiences as well, people see that, people notice that, and people connect with that. They see that you're being open and vulnerable and authentic and creating a space for them to be so as well. The best actionable steps that I can give for this is to listen more than you speak. So for example, we have 2 ears to 1 mouth, so listen twice as much as you speak. And when you do speak, be honest, be open, being honest and thinking about others. Having empathy and practicing that. Practicing empathy and listening and caring about what other people think, being interested about what other people think. And when people talk to you and ask you, being authentic. One last way to reiterate that is you get what you give. If you give authenticity, vulnerability, listening, and empathy, some way, somehow, you will receive it. And finally, last but not least, Noble truth number 5. BS limiting beliefs, such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified, what will other people think? If your goal is to bring service to others, and to change people's lives, who gives a shit? Those beliefs, or beliefs, the lie and belief, those beliefs are making it all about you. What this truth is trying to say is, I would say, pretty clear. If you're trying to make something or bring something to somebody, and you're trying to help change somebody's life, then who cares if it was a little cringy? Who cares if at first it was a little bad? I mean, look at the video that I'm doing now. My first few videos, this is probably my 70th video. Woohoo! When I posted my first one, oh my god, it was so bad. And I'm gonna post this one and get me to my 200th video. That is gonna be so much higher quality than this one is now. But all I care about is that I'm bringing some sort of value to the viewer, to you. And so, why do I care if maybe it's a bit cringy? Maybe if I get a comment of, your shirt sucks, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it's not about me. It's about the message that I'm trying to give and how I give it. And every video that I post, I get a little bit better at posting it, a little bit better at telling it, a little bit better at sharing it. And that's all that truly matters. The way I believe this can help us to better our lives is that it helps us to realize and sort of disconnect ourselves from our art, so that we can eventually disconnect ourselves from that self-doubt, from those beliefs that hold us back, and think, oh, it has very little to do with me. I can put more effort and energy into the work, and that fear, that imposter syndrome can sort of go away. In a way of it, it's not about me. It's about the work. And as long as I do a good job, it doesn't matter. The best actionable step that I can give here is that we need to look at shifting where our validation comes from. And also using meditation and shadow work and self-reflection and all this stuff to help look at where our limiting beliefs come from, trying to find the irrationality in them, where they came from, and rewriting those core stories. And the biggest thing is validation. If you're trying to make it, we're trying to make it about ourselves, then we're trying to find validation, maybe for our existence or for our art. We're trying to find, am I validated? Do other people validate me for my art, for what I make? But if you can find and shift your perspective to, I don't need to look for validation, I do this art, and even if I'm not the best at it, I am validated in doing this art because I had fun doing it. And then the biggest thing is learning to shift our perspective on not trying to make it about us to get validation, but shifting and reframing our thinking to have our art be more about how can we help other people. What will this video that I'm making, this video that I want to post on YouTube, what am I giving somebody else? How am I solving somebody's problem? This artwork, what is this painting or this art? How is it going to affect somebody else? What message am I going to give it to them? Or what is this product that I'm trying to make? How is it going to help others? Making it about others and finding that validation in yourself for doing it in the first place, all that is going to help you to disconnect from that self-doubt of what other people would think, because you're already validated, especially through knowing that it's for somebody else. That self-doubt of what will other people think will eventually start to have less of an effect on you. So we've reached the end of the video, and quickly we're going to summarize every point just to see what we've learned. So noble truth number 1 basically says that our inner world shapes our outer world, and our identity and our energy and our ideal self is what brings our manifestations to us. In noble truth number 2, we found that our potential is bound by the standards that we accept. By embracing change and raising our standards, we pave the way for exponential self-growth. In noble truth number 3, happiness takes the center stage in showing us that happiness does not come from our achievements or the material things we hold or the places that we're in. Happiness comes from the journey, from the progress, from the satisfaction of working towards something, from the satisfaction of the energy we put in our journey towards our goals, towards the life that we want to live. In noble truth number 4, we learn about the magic of vulnerability. When we ditch the need to seem significant and special in the moment, and we embrace being authentic and being our true selves and being open and vulnerable to sharing that, we create a space for vulnerability. We create a space for genuine human connections to flourish. Lastly, in noble truth number 5, we face our self-limiting beliefs head on by realizing that when we shift our focus from making it about ourselves and what other people think and make it about just bringing service to others, by making it about changing other people's lives, we find validation within ourselves and are able to push past self-doubt and better ourselves, to better our craft, to better our art, to better our work, to help change others' lives. Self-doubt can be passed by making it about others. And that brings us to the conclusion of our video. Now I have a call of action for you. Take some time to write these noble truths down in your journal. See what you think. Reflect on them. See if you agree or disagree with anything. What do they mean to you? If you have any comments, then we can start a conversation down in the comments below. See how they interact with us, how we think we can implement these, and how they can change our lives for the better, help us to achieve our dreams, and be the ideal selves that we want to be. If you enjoyed this video and felt like you got anything out of it, please leave a like and maybe share for somebody that you think it would help as well. And remember, we got 15 of these suckers left to go. So hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post the next episode, which we will talk about episode number 2. We will talk about noble truth number 6 through 10. And I really hope to see you there. In the meantime, keep kicking butt. You got this. Check out that Atomic Habits book as well that I mentioned earlier. And there are so many more content, so much more content on my channel that I talk about more things, such as meditation, astral projection, a lot of other things that I just love. And I would love for you to see as well. So go check out my channel for more. Stay tuned for episode number 2 for more noble truths, and keep working towards your highest self. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again. Peace.